After mentioning these two lectures of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then I would like to come directly to the constitution which was given by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this As-Sahifa, the first written constitution, which was drafted by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the participants of this constitution were the Muslims, the migrants of Medina, and the local Muslims of Medina, and the Jewish community, and other non-Muslim tribes, and their allies, all non-Muslim allies who were working in political and social alliance with the Jews of Medina at that time. So a constitution was drafted, and that constitution, text of the constitution, consists of 63 articles. This constitution was compiled through all original sources by Dr. Hamidullah, who used to live in Paris, and he compiled and edited this text of constitution through various sources in the form of 47 articles. Then I got an opportunity to work on it, and this was the second effort which I did by grace of Almighty Allah, and I split it and captioned and categorized in 63 constitutional articles this whole text. This book is published in the name of Constitution of Medina, which consists of, according to my analysis, consists of 63 articles. So this was the constitution, written constitution, which provided a foundation, a constitutional foundation to Medinan society. This was the constitution which provided the concept of devolution of powers. And this basis of devolution of power became the formation, became the practical foundation of democracy. This constitution provided the moderate and balanced aptitude towards all communities. This constitution for the first time gave the idea of nation, geographical nation, a territorial nation, which would include Muslims and non-Muslims together equally, and putting all faiths, cultures and religions, putting them together. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam constituted a political nationhood, concept of nationhood. Then he gave through this constitution the concept of rule of law. He gave through this constitution the concept of respecting the local customs and customary laws and local traditions of all tribes and all cultures and all religious and faith communities based on various religions and faith. Then he gave the concept of basic human rights. He gave the concept of fundamental protection of religious freedom. He gave the concept of protection of the minorities in their religious, social and cultural rights. He gave the concept of a guaranteed protection to women's rights. And he gave the concept that the state of Medina would be declared as sanctuary, a state of peace and security, and no act of oppression, no act of suppression, no act of injustice, no act of extremism, and no act of terrorism, and no act of violence, and no act of militancy would be allowed in the city-state of Medina. Just first of all, starting from the first article where Holy Prophet declared the Muslims and non-Muslims, the Jews and their allies together as a single nation. He did not exclude the non-Muslim communities, because he was unanimously accepted as head of the state. At that time he was the constitutional head, and he declared, this constitution was given, بين المسلمين والمؤمنين والمسلمين من قريش وأهل يثرب فمن تابعهم فلاحق بهم وجاهد معهم. This was the first article of the constitution. Holy Prophet said, هذا كتاب من محمد النبي رسول الله. This is a constitution and a constitutional document given by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the prophet, the messenger of God. And he says, this is a constitutional agreement between the Muslims of Quraysh and the people of Yasrib, the citizens of Medina, those Muslims and non-Muslims, and all those tribes who are the political allies of those tribes. They all constitute together, innahum ummatun wahidatun min dunin nas. So all Muslims, migrants and locals, and all Jews and all allies of the Jewish tribes, all of these participants and constituent elements, they together are forming a constitutional nationality today through this constitution. So Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam included all faiths and cultures and religions and put them together in a single nation. And he didn't exclude any of them from the constitutional nationhood.